Good morning. It is November 8th, 2024. My name is Russ Lag, and I am the host this week of the Big Agent Meeting. Thank you for stopping by and checking us out this week. We've got a show lined up for you guys today. We're going to kick off with a conversation with Amy Weaver today, Senior Vice President of Growth for EXP. And then we're going to jump over to Carrie Arnold and Elizabeth Riley talking about SellerShield. Guys, this is an important topic and becoming more important these days as we're trying to be more protective of each other as we're doing transactions and protecting our sellers when we're doing transactions. Looking forward to that conversation. Then I'm going to have a chat with Brian Ellington talking about what's going on at EXP University. And then the big part of the show, Dan Beer, talking about how to get more listings. If you have not seen this guy talk about how he does and what he does and why he does what he does to get more listings, you got to check Dan Beer out. This guy is next level at the highest level you could possibly imagine. Stay tuned for that. It's going to be amazing. So as we kick it off, I like to kick off Friday shows now with a market minute, which basically gives you guys some kind of tip on what's going on in the market. Well, today I want to talk to you about this dot. Check out the dot, okay? I want you to start thinking, I want to be as hyper-local expert as I can be. So when I go to a certain place, let's just say I'm going to go to downtown Plymouth to have dinner. I know I'm meeting with somebody I don't talk to all the time. I know at some point they're going to say, how's the market? And I will be able to have this information at my fingertips right on hand to be able to talk to them. So what I'll do is I'll go to Main Street at right downtown Plymouth, and I'm going to put a dot there. And then in the MLS, I'm going to do a 2-mile circle around this. Okay, so I've got the dot where I'm going to be, and I've got the 2-mile radius around this. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull all the properties that are 3-bed, 2-bath, 2-car garage between 1,800 and 2,200 square feet, which is pretty much the norm in that area. I'm going to pull those, and I'm going to see what the average sales price was over the last 30 days for all the properties that sold. Then I'm going to go back last year and see what exact same house, exact same cross section, exact same circle was the year before. See, by knowing exactly what it is now and exactly what it was a year before, now I know exactly what that appreciation was in that hyper local 2-mile radius. Because within 2 miles of downtown Plymouth are some amazing homes, all kinds of different styles, a lot of homes being knocked down and rebuilt and built up. That area is super hot with new homes being built over old homes or around old homes. And then I'm also going to go back 5 years. 1 year doesn't always tell the best story, but I'm going to go back 5 years and I'll say, hey, did you know in this market here, the average price went from X to X in the last year, but in the last 5 years, it went from X to X. And in this market here, trust me, the numbers are mind-boggling and staggering. So you can get super hyper local with your information. If you're going to go play pickleball, go to the pickleball court. Hey, what's going on in the immediate area around the pickleball court? Those are the types of conversations you can have easy for me to say, you can have prepared so that you have up-to-date, factual, actual information at your fingertips, and people are going to think you're at a next level just by knowing some basic math, basic information, basic numbers about your market. So there you go. Know your hyper-local market. Set yourself up for success. If you know you're going somewhere, you know somebody's going to ask how's the market. Now you're prepared. You sound like an expert. You've got real numbers. It takes 3 minutes once you get used to doing this and you come out looking like a pro and an expert. There you go. There's Market Minute for November 8th. So next guest coming up is one of my favorite people in EXP. If you don't know who Amy Weaver is, Senior Vice President of Growth, you absolutely have got to get to know this woman. She is not only one of the most amazing people in EXP, she's also the person that I directly call my boss. Welcome to the stage, Amy Weaver.
Hi, buddy. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing so well. I love your Market Minute. That was very informative.
Well, thank you. You know, it's kind of funny because I've pulled that so many times with so many people so often. Like, I don't even think twice about it now. And I realized, like, you know what? I don't even think I tell other people that I do that all the time. It's one of the few things I probably don't tell people I do all the time. But just knowing that makes a huge difference in the way people respond to you when they say, how's the market? I'm like, hey, you know what? Right around here, right? And get real specific. Amy, it was amazing to see you last week at EXPCon. Could not have made my week any more fun.
I know. It is such a great time to just really pour into the agents that we get to see virtually, so much, but really being there in person with them, getting to support them, love on them, seeing what's up in their world, and seeing the energy. The energy was phenomenal. We had people like in lines waiting to get into the breakout sessions. And so I just was so excited that they were so excited. And then the feedback has been phenomenal. The team did a great job of really setting up an incredible EXPCon. And the setting wasn't bad either in Miami. That was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool. And I think the convention center was insane. I believe they said if you walk around the perimeter of the convention center, it's over a mile.
Yeah, I got my steps in for sure. I made the mistake. I did have a change of shoes, but the first day I had like fuzzy slippers, and somehow or another I needed to walk to somewhere outside of the convention center, and my feet were so sweaty it was hot. So the next time I brought my flip flops, but you definitely needed a change of shoes.
Yes, absolutely. Did you see Wendy Forsythe on stage, chief marketing officer, in her sneaks?
I love the sneaks. That was incredible. I'm definitely going to buy some. Absolutely.
Yes.
So those were like fashionable and
Yes.
fairly comfortable. She said. I asked her about them. I'm like, they're really comfortable. She's like, they really are. Like you don't want to walk a mile down the street in them still, but yeah.
They look pretty cool, and they don't eat your feet. That's a good thing, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And just to piggyback on that opening where she was wearing her sneaks, and Glenn and Leo, where they did the drop the mic moment. Woo, that was incredible. The energy again was through the roof, and that set the tone for the entire conference for sure.
It was kind of funny because it was so out of character in some ways, but so in character in other ways. It's kind of like, I can't believe they did that, but I can totally see them doing that. It was one of the just craziest moments I've seen in EXP. That made me giggle to my soul.
And that's one of our core values, is having fun. And they were definitely having fun. That radiated to us for us to have fun. Yeah. Seeing Glenn with his dance moves was hysterical. I keep putting that in repeat. It's so good. I love it.
It's amazing when somebody's willing to just do, be something, just do it, right? And just get after it. I see so many people just always trying to look so proper. It's like, who really cares? Be yourself. Be the true and the best you that you can be. So it was fun to see him get out a little bit. So that's cool.
Hey, I got a good video of you dancing too, by the way. You saw that. Guys, go check out my Facebook. Doing a little dance.
Do a little dance, make a little love. Let's get down tonight. No, that was the wrong song, I think. So yeah,
I don't know what it was, but whatever it was, you looked good doing it. So having fun. Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to bust a move. All right. So let's talk about growth. So you're Senior VP of Growth. You're basically overall the growth team. So myself, Frank Panunto, and Tony King work directly with you. And we've done some crazy stuff over the last 4 months with the growth team. And I think a lot of people still don't know exactly what we do and who we are sometimes. So let's get them up to speed on what we've done in the last couple of months, what you've spearheaded in the last couple of months. So let's start at the top.
So much. So obviously you guys all became VPs in your area, and it's so well deserved. You guys are incredible. If they don't know, like, we have just an incredible growth team full of talent in their own way. Everyone brings a little something different to the table, and when you put it all together, as Russ likes to say, it makes for an amazing recipe. So I know that I've got talent here, talent there, and it just really fills my cup to know that no matter what the need is, I've got a person or a solution for that. But then we added 11 regional directors. So for every region, we paired them with an operational regional director to really create that team camaraderie, build on the community, because, you and I and the crew, we were busy left and right. And so we were in a lot of appointments. What we really are leaning into them to do is to have more in real life events, and then also to build on the community, build the culture, have a direct go-to. They are united like a team in that region in a way they've never been before. Celebrate the agents even more than we always celebrate the agents, but really being able to have more touches in that. And then letting the agents know that, there's an opportunity when they're in the monthly in real life, the monthly trainings that they're going to do to not only get our agents, but invite. So I'm super excited about the initiatives that they're doing, and they're already having so much success. I'm hearing, all kinds of great things happening in areas that we weren't always getting to. So I love that they're here with us now.
Yeah, so it's interesting as we go down this list. We'll go Jill and Kelly and Samantha and Lisa and Gardy and Mayor and Josie, and then we've got Scott and we've got Keith, and we've got Joe, and we got Matt. I think I got all of it. I feel like
You're
I'm naming off a bunch of dwarfs at the
you're
these,
good.
these people are all just amazing human beings that understand growth. So I think the big part for you guys to know is like when we're talking about growth, you're not alone. We have a lot of support in place for you guys to be able to have somebody could be your wingman working through this process, whether it's a single agent that you just don't know what to do and talk to, or if it's a small brokerage that you want to have somebody help you work through the process, even up into large brokerages and teams and so forth. So now we have boots on the ground in most of your states and somebody designated for your state to be able to make sure you're taken care of. So if you want to put your hand up and say, hey, I want more, reach out to the growth team and we'll connect you with that person to help you build your organization, help you build that second bucket of revenue share attraction.
Yeah, and they're even having strategy calls, like, what do I need to do? How do I have these conversations? And so they're having strategy calls. So I think that's why we've had an immediate impact into what they're doing. And I find it super exciting because again, that allows us to work on, what we need to work on, and then really having that really close connection with our agents and the way that we've always hoped for. So it's great. Yeah.
Fantastic. So keep your
One
eyes
thing,
on your local.
oh, sorry, interrupting you.
Just keep your eyes on your local state and your state doing events. And by the way, something you mentioned earlier, tip for you guys, the easiest thing in the world is for you to invite somebody. Just say, hey, we're doing this cool thing. Thought you'd like to show up. It's not a recruiting thing. Just come on over and we're just adding value to people, talking about selling more houses. Start inviting people, that kind of stuff, reaching out. That's the simplest way the average person can do something. And then if you get stuck on a question, don't worry about it. We can help you.
Right. It's relationships. I mean, we're building relationships with our own agents, deeper relationships, and really pouring into that so they feel more comfortable. And then that's what we want to do with their guests. It's just build that relationship and add value to them and help the industry become stronger. So I'm super excited about that. One thing I wanted to say is we also have a new tool, Core.io, which is like a broker metrics, and it has analytics in there to really our regional directors and a few of us are kind of looking at that on the daily to see where there are opportunities. And then we recently had a team that we were able to save. They really needed to grow to a certain level. And so Meyer, who you spoke to before, and Tony were able to meet with that agent and add over 10 team members to their team by using Core.io. To me, that's incredible. And when you talk about being up close and personal and helping someone in their mission and their growth goals, that says everything. So super excited about that.
Absolutely. So I know you've got some numbers and metrics that you've been kicking around with for growth. Like what kind of things, like we did the Q3, so we're probably safe about talking about a lot of stuff now, but so what do you have in your pocket there that you want to talk about?
Well, the biggest thing is our pipeline is huge. So as we've added all these, regional directors and then us and then Leo, oh my gosh, like he's talk about boots on the ground, rolling up your sleeves, like he's there in the trenches with us. And so it's really making really huge opportunities pop up, and it's agents and it's teams and brokerages that are majorly in production. So we've had some awesome things happen, and we have over $25 billion in our pipeline, $25 billion of production, and about 20,000 agents that are in our pipeline. So our mission is to just keep, it's not a one and done kind of thing. So we're continuing to work that. We've got a lot that's coming over before the beginning of the year, and we've had a lot that just came on. So quite a few head turners, and that's as we, celebrate them, then they have more opportunities knocking on their doors. So the first domino falls, and then we've got several that fall after that. So we're busy. We're very busy, and we're excited about, not only this quarter and how we're going to show up this quarter, but what 2025 will look like for us.
Yeah, what I think has been kind of not really surprising as much as enamoring. I look at some of these teams, I'm going like, Amy, we've got 3 or 4 teams we're talking to currently that are doing a billion in sales themselves, right? So we've pulled in the Bittinger Group, right, and Matt Delhone and a number of others. I mean, those guys are over 1,000 sales a year themselves.
Yeah,
it's like the amount of quality that EXP is able to pull now when they compare notes and look at what we do and look at the sustainability and look at the ability to take care of them the way they need to be taken care of. We're able to grab them when they really dig into it. We're able to grab them almost every single time, which is absolutely fascinating.
It is, and we're really just building on that relationship that we have, like with Brandon Brittingham, for example. Yes, he absolutely has like people on the daily calling him like, "Hey, why did you guys make the move?" And Brandon Brittingham, Matt Fedek, Matt Delhone, is that how I say his name?
Yeah,
So
that's
they,
what I've been calling. Sorry, Matt, if I've been messing up. El Hone. That's what we're calling.
I always get it wrong. And so, but we love you. So it's an unusual name, but they had such a great onboarding experience too. And operationally, they've been taken care of. So it doesn't end. Like, we get them, we love on them here, and then it continues on. And they had such a great experience that it's really easy for them to brag and say like, oh yes, like you need to check it out. So during EXPCon, I know I and you had lots of meetings that came about because of that. So really excited about the level of talent that we're getting over here. It's
I
huge.
think the ability to onboard a team that's having 100 closes a month. Keep in mind, guys, these are 1,200 closing, 1,300 closings a year. Matt was 1,160 last year, and he's already surpassing that this year. So you're looking at 100 closings a month. Like, you can really mess their world up if you don't onboard this smoothly. So I want to say a personal thank you and shout out to Robin Sobchak. She has come into her own. She works directly for me and with me, and I could not be any more proud of Robin and the work that she does. When she shows up for an onboarding live to bring these people together, it's just getting it done, making it smooth. And the people that she's got working with her behind her scenes on onboarding, supporting her in onboarding, I want to say thank you to each one of you guys, because that's a major shift that's happened in the last year or so, being able to pull some of these big things and make them smooth. It's a super challenge. So I want to say thank you to her, and thank you for the onboarding group that backs her up, also to Jessica and the team, and Nicole, and of course, Krista,
Yeah.
that group and leading that charge. We love every single one of them.
Yeah, they are absolutely incredible and so willing to get in there, have meetings with us to really dissect like what is important to them, what issues are they going to have. Like it's just incredible how the team gets to work together. I had also, just really quickly, I had a prospect that I met with, and he really wanted to understand how the brokers in his area worked. And I had like 4 brokers on a call, and it was amazing the way that they were able to speak to the experience that the agent would have. And he was like, that was so impressive. So we have just a great environment and a great team of us, staff, whatever you want to call us, leaders, that are ready, willing, and able to help our agents to build. And that's what we're all about right now. We want to build at the highest level. And I love that we're getting, again, like the talent that we're getting and the producers that we're getting, like it just is like no other. And the collaboration is amazing. So love, love, love it. I do want to say one other thing that we're doing and that we're implementing right now, and this is thanks to Tony King, so I'll give him a shout out. He had the idea, and we've had it before, but we were able to figure out how to, our CRM is HubSpot.
Mm-hmm.
And so we figured out how we can go in there and make sure that the opportunities that did not convert, that we are going back and having a drip campaign set up. We will have the potential sponsor and copied on everything. So they're going to stay in the game with that, but really making sure that we are reaching out to them on the regular, letting them know what updates have happened, just loving on them and showing value as far as EXP goes. So we're not just going to let them sit over there and not react to them. We're going to continue to try to get them over here on our side of the game. So super excited about that.
Helping people do what they need to do, just making it easier for the sponsors to keep moving the ball forward and supporting that. It's good. Great idea. I love the fact that Tony brought that back up and has the wherewithal to make it happen. Brilliant. Yeah. He's a brilliant mind.
He is. Sometimes they're ready and sometimes they just need a little time. And so we just want to keep showing up and showing value. We're not going to harass them, but we just want to, regularly touch them. And it's not going to be a canned email. It's going to have value to it. So super excited about that.
No different than baking a cake. You put the cake in the oven, you pull it out, you test it. If that toothpick comes out with stuff on it, stick it back in the oven, let it keep cooking. It'll be done eventually. It's always going to be done eventually. Just stick it back in until it's done cooking. No
I love it, Russ. You are the best with analogies, you guys. Like, he's so good.
I'm just hungry. Weaver, of course, you are one of the most amazing humans I know. I couldn't be any more proud to work with you. Just love the way you roll. So thanks for being an amazing person to work with. Truly love you.
I love you guys. I couldn't ask for a better team to work around me. And most importantly, the biggest hearts. And those hearts are between us and with all these agents. So thank you. I appreciate the time today.
You're quite welcome. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, there you go. Amy Weaver, my boss. And somebody truly, truly do love working with these people. I think there's times when you say, hey, I love working with my people. And then this one, I've got people that I actually love that I work with. It's kind of an amazing team that we've built, and she's the tip of the spear on that one. So with that said, next up, we've got an interesting segment coming up talking about SellerShield. We've got Elizabeth Riley, the amazing, incomparable Elizabeth Riley, and of course, Carrie Arnold. Ladies, come on down.
Hi.
There
Thank
you
you
go.
so much for having us. I appreciate it.
Good morning. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Welcome
Thank
to
you to the
Big
amazing
Agent Week.
Elizabeth for being on with me today.
Yeah,
So
good stuff.
fun.
Well, I'm going to let you guys take it away. I'm going to get out of your way, let you guys do your thing. I'll see you guys in a couple minutes. Have fun.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good.
So I am super excited to be on today and tell you guys about SellerShield. We are a disclosure platform that just helps your sellers disclose more accurately and thoroughly, and gives you as an agent peace of mind by not having to go in and help your sellers with that disclosure and then getting back a 100% complete and signed form every time. So we were created to solve two big unfairnesses in the industry. The first one is that the sellers are the only ones that don't have any type of protection in a real estate transaction. And then secondly, if the seller gets sued, then the agents and brokers are almost always drug in as well, which is obviously unfair if you guys did nothing wrong. But we have two products to help alleviate that. The first one is our gold standard disclosure process, and the second one is our home sale legal protection. Our gold standard disclosure process is going to use the same state forms that you guys already use for disclosing. We just partner with the state board and we make that form digitized and interactive. So think TurboTax, but for the disclosure form. It's going to actually give you expert tips, definitions, and it's going to hand hold and walk your seller through that entire form. It has expandable fields for detailed responses so that they can be as detailed as they need to be when disclosing. And then, like I said, it's going to save you a ton of time as an agent and give you back a 100% complete and signed form every time. So no more having to go back to your sellers and ask them, hey, you missed this question, you didn't sign this. It's going to be completed every time. Best part about this tool, it's completely free, guys. It's a no-brainer. It helps protect, gives peace of mind, and it's free to use. Elizabeth, you've been using us since 2019. What do you love about SellerShield?
I actually feel like I've been using you guys more than that. When I found you, it was so awesome because in our day-to-day business, we are working with so many different contracts and so many different counties and all the things. And so it's just one less thing that it makes it so easy for our business. I can just go in there, the forms automatically, they know what forms are needed. I don't have to chase down forms. I love, love, love the fact that it's electronic because so many of my clients, they don't want to print out 8 or 9 or 10 or 15 pages and fill them all out by hand. And then if you scan them, and then if they make a mistake, it's just clunky and it's antiquated, right? And I love that this is a solution for EXP. We're always forward thinking. We're always adding value to our agents to make us look better. It makes us look more professional, more organized. I can let my clients know, I am sending you the documents to sign through SellerShield. You can choose coverage if you like. Again, they're not asking me for those questions. They're not asking me, well, who should I talk to? What attorney should I talk to? How do I make sure I'm protected? It's all built in. So it just makes it seamless and it makes us look better. I love having y'all as a partner. They can go in electronically, fill out everything. But what I really love is if we've had a situation where maybe the disclosure has to be updated, or maybe unfortunately it fell through, a contract fell through, and now there's some repairs or things that came up from another inspection that we have to disclose. Instead of starting from ground zero and starting from scratch, all we have to do is go in and they can go in and revise that really, really easy with clicks of a button, and it sends the new disclosure. It's easier to read. It's not chicken scratch. It's just makes us look a little bit more organized. I mean, think about contracts. We're putting all those through DocuSign or Dotloop. Why wouldn't we have contracts easily accessible in the disclosure, which is I think the disclosure piece is such a litigious piece of our business. That's what I want airtight. And you guys give that opportunity and that solution to make sure that we're well protected as well as our clients. So I love this. This is a absolute add-on into my business. It's not negotiable. We include that in every one of our transactions. So you just make us look good. So thank you for that.
I love that. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. And what I heard from all that is simplify. We simplify, we protect peace of mind. We just help give you guys that extra added layer of protection so that you're not stressed after the sale.
And it doesn't cost anything. You said that earlier. And that's the other thing. Another solution that we have at our fingertips. It doesn't cost us anything, but yet it enhances our business. It seems simple. It is simple, but it enhances our business in such a big way that it's a no-brainer that this is part of your checklist. This is part of your listing checklist that you provide to your sellers. It's just a game changer.
Yes, I love that. And like you said, most of the claims do stem from the disclosure form. 95% of post-sale litigation is due to the disclosure form.
Right.
So any way you can protect yourself and your clients with that is just a perk. Speaking of that, through our disclosure form, we also have our home sale legal protection. This is completely optional, but your sellers will be offered the option to purchase this. And just by you as the agent offering, letting them know they have the option to be protected, you're protecting yourself. So this is great. If they choose to purchase this at the first sign of trouble, we jump in, we hire them a local expert real estate attorney, we provide them support from start to finish, and we pay up to $75,000 of their legal defense fees, depending upon the package. But all of our packages are less than a 1-hour legal consultation. So again, it's just an extra layer of peace of mind for your sellers post-closing. This is the pricing that we have based on that. So this is for the sellers. Our most common package purchased is on the left-hand side here. It's the $30,000 of legal defense protection. This starts the day of closing. So the day the home closes, this is when the protection would jump in and take place. But it covers up to $30,000 of legal defense protection. And we have 2 ways that they can pay with all of our packages. We offer a discount if they pay now with the credit card, but they can always have it taken out of closing proceeds. Price jumps up slightly just because we have to collect from title and it's just a little more manpower. But either way, most of our claims at SellerShield that come in are between months 10 and 14. So typically our 2-year base protection packages is the most common. We do also have a complete protection package though, and that is for 4 years and $75,000 of legal defense protection, but same goes there. They can pay now or they can have it taken out of closing proceeds. Again, this is completely optional. Even if your seller opts to not purchase protection, we don't go back and hassle and badger them, and they can continue to use the tool for free. For you guys as agents, we do have some special agent pricing. Some of our agents like to use this as like a post-closing gift or even a way to win listings. So we have a 1, 2, and 3-year protection package for our agents. Same for you guys. You can pay now or you can have it taken out of closing proceeds. And then this slide here, so we are currently in 14 states and growing. We are trying to partner with all of the state boards so that we can be available in all 50 states. But for right now, we are in the slides highlighted in yellow. We have been around for over 10 years. We have over 90,000 active agents, and we've protected over 100,000 sellers. So all of this just to say we're not new. We've been around. We love helping protect you guys. So use the QR codes in the corner and sign up. And again, it's free. It takes about 10 seconds to set your password. And then you can begin inviting your sellers to disclose through SellerShield. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of my presentation today. I really appreciate you guys' time. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for coming on and talking about SellerShield with me. It's been awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, appreciate it. You guys have a great Friday.
All right, there you go. SellerShield. Interesting. That's it's kind of interesting watching that thing grow, and I like it a bunch because again, the world's getting more litigious by the minute. So let's be really clear on what we're doing and what we're not doing. So thanks you for everything you do. Good luck. I love this product. And see you, Elizabeth Riley. It's great to see you again.
My friend.
All right, there you go. All right, so that's that with SellerShield. Pretty cool program. Next up, we've got the one and only Brian Ellington. Brian Ellington, come on down. University Spotlight time.
Hey, Russ, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, man. It's good to see you live and in person here. I'd rather just be with you side by side where I can hug you, though.
Man, Miami was great, man. It was really great getting to see you and everybody that was there. It was an amazing party for 4,500 people. I loved it.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So what do you got for us?
Well, it's funny. I was reading Lori Buchanan said something. Whatever you are not changing, you are choosing.
Yes.
Whatever you're not changing, you're choosing. So when you think about your business, what are you not changing that you're choosing that you don't want, right? How do you grow your business? So with the university, we've got a few answers for you on that. On Monday, we've got the talented Hallie McCrory. She's going to be talking about Facebook groups. Oh, hey, there she is.
Awesome.
The untapped gold mine of leads. We did a survey recently where we asked agents and team leaders, what do you want in terms of training from the university? Because we want to be delivering what you're looking for. Lead generation was top of the food chain in terms of what folks wanted. So that's a great session. Then on Tuesday of next week, Dan Beer is going to be kicking off Listing Mastery. Now, this is one of the Elevate coaching programs that he does. But that program is going to teach you everything from generating seller leads on to capitalizing on the conversation that you start with them, and then how to nail the appointment every time and take the listing, but take it the way that you want to take it.
Yes.
So then on Wednesday, we've got Katrina Amaral. Now, Katrina's number 2 in all of Canada and one of the top team leaders globally for EXP. She's got business by referral. This woman did 38 deals her first year. She did 323 deals, by the way, last year.
Wow.
And of the thousands of deals that she's done over half of them by referral.
Wow.
Her technique is just flawless from earning the referral to asking for it to getting that referral and nailing it. The things that she shared with me that she's sharing in this program are absolutely unbelievable. So if you want to work with the people that you want to work with, by referral is the best way to do that. And she's got amazing strategies. And that's kicking off next Wednesday. You can go to expelevatecoaching.com and check out that program. Then on Thursday with Elevate Coaching, we've got Tina Call and Minda Coe of the Call Group. They're going to kick off Buyer Mastery. This is a 6-week coaching program. I'm teaching you how to master the buyer consultation, teaching you how to set yourself up for success, both in terms of your time that you spend with the buyers, because they can spend some of your time if you let them, but also in terms of your commission and how you absolutely master that working relationship with your buyer.
Fantastic.
Thursday, I can't believe Amy buried the lead on this. She's doing EXP Executive Masterclass for us, building your legacy of attraction through production. You, Russ, did one on attraction. So Amy's doing hers on attraction. This will be an amazing thing. By the way, one of the things that both agents and team leaders said that they wanted from EXP University was training on attraction. There you go. Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern on the EXP Realty channel on YouTube. And then next Friday, I'm really excited. We have Brennan Brittingham. Now, Brandon, hey, there he is. Brennan recently joined us. He's the number 1 team in all of Maryland. I believe he's number 2 in Delaware. He co-founded the Boardroom, which is a very well-known, well-respected investor community for real estate professionals and others. So he recently joined EXP, and he's kicking off Expand Investing, where he's sharing with agents about, one, how to attract and work with sellers for massive amounts of business, but 2, how to become, I'm sorry, I said sellers, I meant investors, and 2, how to become an investor yourself. And by the way, it's a whole lot easier than you think, and it doesn't require the kind of money that you might think it does. So he's going to come on next Friday and share a little bit about that. But first, today, Dan Beer. Now, you mentioned it earlier. Dan has had the number 1 listing market share in all of San Diego. And I know the other top agents in that market and what animals, absolute beasts they are. And so for Dan to be at the top of that food chain for 8 years running is incredible. So he's kicking off next Tuesday. He's going to kick off his listing mastery. But today at 1 p.m. Eastern, he's doing a free session for all EXP agents. It'll be here on the YouTube channel on EXP Realty YouTube at 1 p.m. Eastern. So I grabbed Dan earlier this week and I said, give me some great strategies, some great tips, get me excited and share with me how I can become more of a listing agent. And so I am pleased to share that with you right now.
All right, let's let that thing rip then.
And thanks so much for being on. We really appreciate it, man. I know with all the listings you guys are taking, you're extremely busy, but we're so grateful to have you doing the show today, and also to be doing the program a little bit later this afternoon at noon Central Time, 1 p.m. Eastern. So for folks unfamiliar with you and the Beer Home team, could you share a little bit about your journey to get to where you are today with EXP?
Well, listen, guys, I mean, there's so much I want to share with you, particularly about just becoming a great listing agent, because it is the one thing that has been constant. Like I was licensed in 2005. And so through the Great Recession, guess what was true? If you were a great listing agent, you were fine. I was right. I was here from everything that happened since then, whether it be the COVID years or the, whatever president was years, the right years, the left years. It didn't ever matter, other than if you were. Let me be clear. It didn't ever matter, and does not matter, and will not matter if you're a great listing agent. So really the thing, Brian, was, of course, there's so much in the journey, but like the message I want to make sure to be clear on right now is that being a listing agent, not just someone who takes listings, but to have the identity of a listing agent, to believe it, to feel it, to breathe it, to live it, and just to truly, really own that, will change your entire trajectory. Because it's one of these things that, what's the most important thing you can have, Brian? It's competence. Well, what will give you competence? It's confidence. So the more competent you are, the more confident you get. And these two things are right. There's a cyclical, they feed one another. And that is, what I would credit with the number one thing that built my business. And that's why I'm excited to just share with our EXP family how to do it. And it's not that complicated. I mean, the reality is you already have everything you need. And so I'm just going to show you how to bring that forward.
Yeah. And so I was remarking on this at EXPCon when you were doing your session there. You are in a very competitive market there in San Diego. And I happen to know several of your competitors, Mark, Chris, Kyle, are also top listing agents. And yet for the past 8 years, since 2016, you've held the number one spot in terms of listing market share for San Diego County, which is just phenomenal. I'm just curious, how many listings are you carrying in inventory at a given time, or how many do you have right now?
So in this moment, we have 71 listings. That's here in San Diego. And of course, that's at a average price point of about $950 or so that we run at. 26 active, 20 that are under contract in escrow, and 25 that are in a coming soon stage, being prepared for sale, just, moving toward where we actually hit the open market. So 71 in total.
That's amazing. That's amazing. All right. So give us a sense. First off, on lead generation, what do you see the common mistakes that agents make as they're making this transition to becoming a listing agent in terms of attracting seller leads?
Yeah. So, man, there's a few different ways I could take this answer. And so let me see if I could even squeeze in a couple of them. But the thing that most quick comes to mind first is that most agents think in terms of events instead of in terms of campaigns. And so there's the event of going out and door knocking, just as an example. And by the way, full disclosure, I've never been a big door knocker. I've done it, not once or twice. I've done it more than that. But I still don't consider myself that I've been a big door knocker. Having said that, just this example applies whether it was for expires, whether it's for door knocking, for farming, for your sphere of influence, for your passive. It applies across the board. There's people that'll go out and door knock, didn't get the listing, door knocking doesn't seem to work. There's people that go and door knock, but they're not door knocking for the date or for the listing. They understand they're door knocking for data. Why would you want to door knock for data? Because now it's because you can now build a campaign. And if you are going out there with that mindset, first of all, you don't get discouraged when you didn't come back with the listing. Or said differently, if you're farming and you put out your mailers and you put them out and you don't get a listing immediately, you don't get discouraged because you understand the long game you're playing. So if you're door knocking for data and you were to be able to capture X amount of email addresses just from the people you're interacting with, because you're going to let them know that their neighbors have all opted in to receive a certain report that gives them information that's important to them. You don't ask permission. You just say, where can I send yours to? What email can I send yours to? So there's this, they don't want to be left out. What, my neighbors are going to have all the information and I'm not? Well, here, so you get the email addresses. Well, if we have email addresses, we can now come back to the office and put them on a saved search with a market report for their community or their subdivision that they receive once a month. We have their address, right? You door knock them. So you have the address. You can start to mail them once a month. You maybe captured their phone number in that same process and can start to invite them to an event that you're doing in the area, something as simple as a little happy hour. You maybe can set them up to also get immediate alerts on when their neighbors come for sale or when they go pending. You might have decided also to get back to the office and send them a handwritten note of how nice it was to have met them and send them a quarterly note. And I can just keep riffing here, right, on how I'd build a campaign. Yeah. So the person that does that door knocks, and this, again, that's just a placeholder for an example, but then puts a campaign behind it and then keeps adding people to the campaign on a systematic basis, that is the person that's going to be really successful. But the rest of everybody else will mostly say human nature has it like, oh, you know what? I went and door knocked. I didn't get the listing. I didn't really meet that many people. I only met 6 people. By the way, 6 people who interacted with you at their door. I think that's amazing. And so they're just going to stop. And so, we can dig in on why are they stopping, right? And there's probably just too much for now. Did they stop because of ego? Did they stop because of boredom? Did they stop because they don't understand the long game? Did they stop because they're trying to, create a reason why they're not being successful and they're going to blame the activity versus themselves? But hopefully that answers it, Brian. The other quick little thing that I would throw in there, and it's like a whole masterclass of its own, would be messaging. And there's no differentiation. And at the end of the day, money will run toward different. And if you're not clearly different, if you don't know how to move the sellers or buyers, right? Any part of your business, or if you're recruiting agent, it doesn't matter what you're doing. But in this particular case, when you don't know how to move that seller's psychology in a way that exposes the gap in what they're likely to experience, should they get only the common experience that the industry provides, and you don't know how to expose those pain points and then become the clear and obvious solution as to how you'll fill them, not because you say you will, but because you could literally show them how it will be done. Well, when you can show them the gap and then fill it, and you're different than everybody else, you're going to win in a very big way. I know exactly how to do that. I've created a framework around this, and I'm really excited to share it with our community here in our brokerage. But that's the key, because here's like just some kind of, I don't know, this might hit you the wrong way. And if it does, I apologize. I'm sort of a straightforward guy. If you are not different, you're not really needed.
Yeah.
You're just not. There's too many. In my city, there's 26,000 agents. Why would someone who's not different be needed at all? And so it's just something to sit with and think about, take inventory, right? And audit. Is that true for me? And if so, great. By the way, if you even come to realize that that is true for you, fine, feel bad for a quick moment, but then start feeling really good that you're in the minority of people that are self-aware enough to even realize that, because now you're going to do something about it.
Yeah. And I know in the coaching program you do listing mastery, that's, by the way, kicking off on Tuesday, the 12th. You talk at length about both messaging and also differentiation at the kitchen table. I'm curious, so we talked a little bit about generating that lead and attracting that seller. Let's talk about that kitchen table or couch or wherever it is that you like to do your presentation.
Never the couch. Okay.
What's that?
Never the couch.
Never the couch.
No.
So for you, what's the biggest success factor in terms of getting that seller to say yes to the listing agreement during that listing appointment?
So the first thing is, I think that a lot of people present backwards. So they might have a great listing presentation, and we'll talk about that in a moment, because that's kind of a big assumption that they have a great listing presentation. But let's say they do. Well, they'll sabotage their own ability to sign the listing in that moment by having the presentation and then ending with, do you have any questions? See, a presentation in a selling environment it must build to where the natural conclusion, the only thing left to do is move forward together in a relationship, sign the agreement, and get working. And you're building toward that. And so if you have a great presentation, it's moving the person there. But then when you end with, do you have any questions? All of a sudden you're off in the space. You've handed the keys over to the seller in this case, and they're asking you questions about this and about that, and you're just suddenly completely lost. The momentum is gone, right? It's like a balloon that's been popped and it's just suddenly flailing around in every which direction. And so that's a huge mistake. The questions should always be taken up front. And there's a few reasons for that. And we're going to get into it too, by the way, in the training that we're going to do, because I'm holding a live training later today. But I'm going to get into it and to really like help you understand the structure of a presentation and things to do inside of it, right? And so that is one huge mistake that gets made, but I'll illuminate why and go really well into detail there. The other thing that happens is I find, and I just know this from experience, it's not that I'm making a judgment about it. I know that I did this for so long and was so frustrated that I couldn't seem to get anything more than an average or maybe an above average result, but I wanted a great one. And that never happened until I took the time to really think through this very simple framework. And I'll give it to you right now. What do they all do? And so what that means in this case is, what do all real estate agents do very commonly when interacting with a seller? Okay. Well, and when talking about selling their home, well, they over focus on the price. That would just, okay, so I'm going to make a few notes for me. So they over focus on the price. They are going to just simply put their home on the MLS. Mm-hmm. We know they're going to take photos, sign in the yard, MLS. Okay. So I call that list and pray.
Spend as little as possible, trust in the MLS.
They are going, so you just start thinking about these things that everyone's going to experience. They're going to take photos of the house. Well, what do those photos typically look like? They're typically day shots of the front of the house. Okay, great. So I'm just going to jot that one too. I've got a list of these. Well, then you start thinking about, well, what would be the issue or the pain point around any of these things? And some of them aren't necessarily bad, like taking photos of the day shot, taking day photos of a house at the front of a home and making that the key shot on the MLS. It's not inherently bad in and of itself. But when you come to just think about, wait a second, if all, or I don't want to talk in absolutes, if the vast majority of agents are doing the same thing, then when I'm a buyer and I'm online, coming home from a long day of work, pop open my favorite website on my laptop or my desktop, and I go to search for home, I'm going to type in bedroom count, neighborhood, price point, up comes the list of homes. And by the way, are you even on the list? And that's a whole nother discussion about positioning and pricing strategies that all are going to matter in this process. But just talking about these day shots of the house, well, the buyer they didn't just like start searching that moment. Most of them have been in zombie mode for months, potentially. Home after home after home after home. So if my primary photo is the same style as others, well, then that buyer's not sure that they've seen this listing or not. You get 2 seconds on their screen. Like if you think they're examining everything about your property and then deciding if to see it or not see it, you're lost. Okay, they're going to spend 2 seconds with it. 1, 2, judge, yes or no. Like next. 2 seconds, next, 2 seconds, next. So I need my photo to be very clear to them. Whoa, I haven't seen this. What's this one? Because after a certain amount of time, think about it. Do homes in your area, or your region, in San Diego County, heck, there's even neighborhoods that doesn't matter if they're a $1 million neighborhood or a $3 million neighborhood. They're just different geographies, but architecturally, they're very similar. Yeah. And they just start to blend. And especially if someone's, even ignoring that point, if somebody's focused on a subdivision that's more of like a tract subdivision, they blend. And so you need to make sure that you have that. So what do you do when you understand the pain point that you could be passed up, that maybe you won't get the attention you deserve? that you stand to be confused for the crowds, but you're not the crowds, you're special. Well, then you create a solution. Well, then how will you photograph different? And of course, we'll get into all that, but this is just a simple framework of what did they all do? What's the pain point? And then how can I solve for it? And when you put all these different points together, if you could stack 10, 12, 13, 15 of these together, you start to create a story. And in that story, you're going to start to illuminate things that you want them saying, gosh, you're the only person that's actually like made light of that. You're right. I'll do one more quick one.
Please.
All agents we know spend way too much time focused on the price of the house. In fact, it's their primary listing strategy. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have this very discussion with the seller and then say, well, gee, it's no wonder that most buyers get fixated on price. When that's the entire marketing strategy, then of course they're gonna focus on price. We need to make price only a small component that complements the greater strategy and moves them toward wanting to be here, needing to be here, and competing against one another so they're not competing with you. And so it's a point of differentiation again. And isn't it interesting how the agents are just always talking about the comps and the comps and the comps? See, I can say that going into a listing presentation because I know the agents do that. And I can stack that onto the little speech I just gave about being over obsessed with price. And then I could even say something like, I think if you're just too focused on the comps, it's a really good indicator that you don't have the experience to understand that there's so many other factors that matter and that influence price. Let's discuss some of them. And so you're just making yourself different. And this is what I enjoy, as you could tell. And so I'm just excited to share it with the group.
Yeah, and it's funny. I was joking with the agents at EXPCon in a session I was doing that, hey, I can dribble a basketball. I can't dribble a basketball like LeBron James. I can take a listen. I don't do the things that you're talking about, just the nuanced things. Every time we talk, I take something away from that conversation. So, by the way, speaking of the nuances, now you kind of understand why Dan's listing mastery program that he does through Elevate is 6 weeks, because there's a lot packed into that 6 weeks, each and every session. Would you mind just taking just a quick second and giving an overview of that 6 week program?
Yeah, and look, I'm going to do that, guys. And if you've ever seen me just share a program that I'm doing and maybe I just do it casually, I'm not going to do that right here. Like if it starts to look like I'm trying to enroll you, it's because I am. It's because I know that what it's going to do for you. I know what it's going to do if you experience it. I want you to experience it because they've also EXP, and literally because it's EXP and what it's done for my life and the way it's all changed is they've asked me to do it at a price point that I've never put a course out at in my life. Typically for a 6 week course, I've never charged less than I believe I've never charged less than $2,000 for a course like that. That's online. Brian will take you through pricing, but it's a fraction. And simply because it's EXP family, I want to enroll you in it because it will change your life to be a listing agent. I'll share with you some of what I'm going to go through there in full detail over these 6 weeks. I'm going to take you, first of all, we're going to need to understand how we need to change psychology so that we can change that of the sellers, so that we can then, of course, translate that help for the buyers and take them through a process that is duplicatable every single time and gives the seller that moment of, okay, no one's shared it that way before. We're going to talk, of course, about the lead generation side, building the proper campaigns, all of the pre-work that happens, pre-list packages, qualifying, prepping before you get there so you win, all of that. Also, my closing framework, the actual contents of the pre-listing package, language we should use, and also, more importantly, probably language we should avoid, the listing presentation. There's things that you can take into your current listing presentation right now that if you just make some very, very simple but very profound and adjustments, your entire conversion process will change. But we're going to get into, Brian, we're going to do pricing strategies. There are different pricing mechanisms and strategies and ways to position a property for different markets, for different times, and how to present each of them. I'm going to take you through my commission theory on how to capture the most possible commission available. And that's kind of a little bit of a cliffhanger as far as where my thinking and my philosophy is. But a lot of people make the mistake of getting hung up on the wrong thing while you and I get rich collecting the dollars. Okay, so I'm going to take you through that. my flexible commission structure, my minute-to-minute listing agreement. I'm going to take you through building guarantees, USPs, unique selling propositions, having that all build a brand for you as you're building your listing inventory. I don't know. I have so much I'm going to take them through. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'm forgetting or leaving out. Keeping the deal together. How about that? Handling all the objections that happen over the course of a deal, before the deal, during the deal, that if you actually get to the point where they become something that is jeopardizing the deal, you've likely missed an opportunity to handle those things up front so those issues and problems don't even come up to begin with. There's really no reason why we should ever be surprised by what happens in the transaction or over the course of the listing process, because we already know what it's going to be. So I'm going to just take you through that and make you very conscious of all of these things. And yeah, so much more. Look, text message to send them, to leave with them, how to make sure they actually have a key that they're handing you when you show up to the listing presentation, staging, how to handle it. I'll shut up. There's so much, and I'm going to just put it all out. I'm going to do.
I wish you wouldn't be quiet. Actually,
I'm going to do the deepest listing agent training that I could ever have. Period. Yeah. And the biggest motivator, Brian, to be honest with you, because like, based on the pricing that you've asked me to do, it's really not a financial thing. And I could tell you that I'm super altruistic and gosh, it's just a pure give back to the community. And there is absolutely that. Like, it actually makes me happy. Heck, if you saw me at EXPCon and if you saw me at certain events, you actually saw me tear up in joy of, I'm not even being cheesy, like literally. But the clincher for me was, you know what? I need to package up all of these thoughts because it's also just training for my team. Yeah. Because we're looking to grow, and now this is the best excuse, the accountability of having to deliver for the for our community at EXP. That means I'm going to have it packaged up and able to deliver to my own team so that we can continue to grow and scale.
Yeah. And so two things for you all at home. The first is later today at 12 noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. That's 10 a.m. Pacific. Dan's going to do a free session open to all EXP agents. It's here on the YouTube channel, EXP YouTube channel, that will be going on. And that's got a lot of really cool stuff in it. Then the 6-week program that Dan was just outlining, where he goes in depth on all those topics and a lot more, that's going to kick off on Tuesday the 12th. And again, the price on that was $437, which if you can find a listing program that has as much value from somebody like yourself, who's lived it and done it at a high level for less than a few $1,000s, God bless. I've not seen one. So go check that out. If you're not sure yet, come to the session this afternoon at noon Central, and check that out.
How do they get there? Do you know? Or do they have an easy way of knowing where to go?
Yeah, if you go to the EXP Realty channel, just go EXP Realty on YouTube. That's where the free session will be today. Now, if you want to go to expelevatecoaching.com and sign up for the Listing Mastery Program, that's there for you right now too. Honestly, think of this as a shortcut, right? Most agents spend their careers first working with buyers until those buyers convert to sellers, and that's how they eventually become a listing agent to whatever level they do. This is a huge shortcut for you to get into listings now at a big level, however big you want to go. All right. Well, Dan Beer, thank you so much for being on. We really appreciate you. And we'll see you this afternoon at 12 noon Central.
All right, man. See you. We'll see you guys.
Thank you, buddy.
All right. There you go. Brian Ellington. Man, great interview. Dan Beer is next level. And by the way, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I noticed when he put that slide up with the QR code, dude looks good in a vest. Can't pass up a good looking dude in a vest. I may be a little partial, but he looks good. Anyway, with that being said, Dan Beer's a real deal, man. Like, if you could get one more thing under contract, one more deal under contract, is that worth $500? Just to sit in your next listing appointment and be able to see things differently. I guarantee you the stuff that he talks about, I've seen him talk about this stuff. The stuff that he talks about, I sat down and go, God, I wish I had that when I was listing houses regularly. So make sure you grab into that and check it out. 1 p.m. Eastern, EXP Realty YouTube channel. Just go into type EXP Realty channel in YouTube and it'll pop it right up at 1 p.m. and he'll be talking through more of his stuff. See if you love that, then jump in. All right, there you go. So with that said, we've got KGIC Radio is always doing its thing. We were live there last week at EXPCon. We had a great time. Make sure you tune in for KGCI every single day. We've got different stuff going on. You got Mindset Mondays. You got things going on Fridays. KGCI Radio is a great resource for you to put something on in the background that gives you information that you can put in your business immediately. Some of the top agents and top people talking about what's going on in the real estate world. So make sure you tune in when you get the opportunity. And QR code for NPS survey. We always appreciate you guys doing the NPS survey for us. If you want to open up your phone, click on that puppy and give us a scale rating on a scale of 1 to 10. Let us know how the show was today. Had a lot of value in here today, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give us some feedback. Let us know how we're doing. And that's all we've got for today. Stay tuned for iConversations coming up next. See you all next week.